Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of New Mexico. So we have yet again, and for what I imagine will be the last time of 2020, a new 1-acre lot in Tres Piedras Estates in Taos County. Of course, this 1-acre lot is a combination of adjacent acreage. That's the only way that you can actually get a 1-acre lot in this region. The video I'm going to do today is going to be property specific. I'm not going to talk as much about the subdivision as I have in the past, specifically because I have talked so much about it in the past. So if you're coming to the website, if you're coming to the YouTube channel and wanting to learn more about Tres Piedras Estates and you haven't previously watched any of our content, I would direct you to not only our YouTube channel, but also our Tres Piedras Estates landing page, which will have a wealth of information not only about the subdivision, but also this very helpful frequently asked questions section, which has every conceivable question that anyone could possibly ask, and I know this because I answer these questions personally in emails and phone calls all the time. Additionally, of course, we have photos from the region, and we have a drone video from the region as well, which will demonstrate the exact sort of terrain and what it's like out there. Anyway, with all that said, I have also discussed in the past how hard these 1-acre lots are to find, and of course, it is such a topic that I get asked about so many times that I went to the trouble to make a video, which you see right here, the rare 1-acre lot and why they're so hard to find. That video will be replaced by the one you're watching right now, but I'm going to move it to the bottom of this listing page if you do want to acquaint yourself more with the esoterica of why it's so impossible to get adjacent lots out there. It's going to be posted down here below the drone video, so just look for that. And I'm sure my assistant will also have some kind of pop-up appearing right now on the video you're watching, linking you to that video if you're on YouTube. All right, so blah, blah, blah. With that out of the way, let's just go to some property specifics here, and we'll bring the property up on a map. So this is reference number TSNM 9345, located as noted, Taos County, Tres Piedras Estates. It's Unit 2, Block 76, and the two adjacent lots are I and J. As with all of our properties, come here, click the GPS coordinates, and up on Google Maps, it shall appear. So this property sits, as noted, in Unit 2. Unit 2 places it roughly about 2.5 miles north of U.S. Highway 64, the main highway going through this region. Of course, if you right-click and measure distance, you'll see Google backs me up on that, roughly about 2.5 miles north there. Generally speaking, the further north and further south you go in this subdivision, the harder the roads become to traverse. Down here by the highway, you've got a number of encampments, number of people living out here, and so these roads get driven more often. When you get up this far north, it is fair to say the roads are a little harder to get through. That being said, we've sold a number of properties in this region, and generally speaking, as long as you've got an SUV, an off-road vehicle, a larger truck, something like that, you should be able to make it out here. Should be noted that the property sits pretty close to what we're calling a main road, because it actually has a name here, Colorado. And if you zoom back, what you'll see is that Colorado extends directly from Highway 64 up there. So this is all pretty much a straight shot. If you're going out to scout the property, of course, you can do it just by bringing the listing page up on your smartphone, clicking those GPS coordinates I clicked earlier, and your smartphone should give you turn-by-turn directions. We've had so many people out there before that I know that the cell service out here is pretty reliable, pretty good. So as far as getting turn-by-turn directions out to the lot, your phone should not crap out on you halfway up there. That should not be the case. Whatever the case, the property, as noted, is just up here right off Colorado, bang a right on this road right here, and then bang another left, and you are up here at the land. Lots I and J sit right here with road access along their western boundary. Now, just a quick thing, guys. I want to direct you here to the photo gallery. So everybody always asks for plat maps in this region. The plat maps have never been digitized by Taos County. You can kind of see some of them if you do a Google search. They're poor photo images of them, but each plat in Taos County is like the size, for Tres Piedras, it's like the size of your refrigerator. And they're difficult to read when they're in front of you, and good luck even making any sense of them. So point being, we have this representation on the website. I'd like to believe that this helps you guys with this, but I get a lot of questions about it still. Point being, block 1 is next to block 2 is next to block 3. It's all laid out fairly logically. And the lot configuration within the blocks looks like this: A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J. Anyway, the I and J lots are the ones that we're selling. And you know, the benefit here with adjacent acreage, and I'm just going to kind of go through the photo gallery. We've got some beautiful shots taken from in this region, which will give you an excellent sense of what it looks like out here. But while I talk about this topic, let's just go through the photos so you have something to look at. So the benefit of adjacent acreage, of having a 1-acre lot, what you'll hear a lot in New Mexico is that you can't build in regions like this, regions that have no city utilities, no city water, no city sewer. There's this sort of conventional wisdom that says you can't build on lots under 3/4 of an acre. It's not completely true. You can build on lots that are less than that, which is why we have such success selling these 1/4 acre and half-acre lots. The difference, however, in a 1 acre versus a half-acre is that half-acre is subject to more stringent environmental rules, specifically about how much distance can be between a conventional well and a conventional septic system. And the reason that they say you can't build on something under 3/4 of an acre is because basically the distance you need between those two things shakes out to be about 3/4 of an acre. You need at least that much land to have both. Now, why that doesn't apply here, number one, is because the water table in this region is pretty deep, and it's unlikely that you're going to drill a well. There are some community wells in this region where you can kind of pay like a yearly fee or something and you get access to the water, but it's unlikely that if you're buying this property that you're going to want to drill a well out there. So then it leaves you with the septic consideration, and there's so many people out here who use things like compost toilets or just essentially alternative, green, environmental friendly methods of disposing of waste, that it's easier to work around that sort of septic rule. Blah, blah, blah. Now, of course, when you have a property that's 1 acre, you don't have to worry about any of those workarounds. And generally speaking, those workarounds require permits, and permits require money, and some of that gets into jumping through hoops with the zoning department or with the environmental department in New Mexico. So that's why these 1 acre lots are so enviable, is because it frees you up to do a lot more than you can do on a half acre or a quarter without having to deal with all that sort of hoop jumping with zoning. As I've talked about in previous videos, it's very difficult to find anything even this large in the region. There are so many people who own land in this area who are dead, who never deeded the property to anybody else. There's a company that developed the region that went bankrupt in the 70s. Their name is still on 40% of the properties out here, I'm going to say, something like that. So it's difficult to buy from them. And of course, because the taxes, which on these properties are $5 a lot, are so low, it takes years and years and years for it to be worth Taos County or the state's time to essentially foreclose on the lot and sell it at a tax auction. You need to accumulate hundreds of dollars in back taxes, penalties, and fees before it gets to a point where it's worth it for them to go through the trouble, yada, yada, yada. So because of that, you've got a lot of unused land out here that can't be sold, can't be conveyed, is not being used. Back taxes are piling up, county's doing nothing with it, etc. And so when you actually find someone who has 2 adjacent lots like this, or in the 1/4 acre sections, units 6, 7, 8, 9, has 3 or 4 adjacent lots, they really are incredibly valuable. So we have a lot of buyers who come to the website, want to do things in their RV, want to build an earthship home, things like that. That's very popular in Taos County, very popular in this region. These lots usually get purchased by those people because they understand precisely how rare they are. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, with all that said, there's just one final thing I want to point out to you guys about this property. Is if you come back here to the map, what you'll see is on Google satellite view, is it looks like there's a neighbor over here to your west who maybe has 2 lots, we don't know. But it seems like at one point in time they trashed their lot and put a lot of garbage on it. Now, this is a satellite image taken who knows when, 3 months ago, 3 years ago, we don't know. How much of that is still out there? We can't speak to it, but we do like to point out to the fact that, number one, it's not on your land. Your land is, free and clear of trash, rubbish, and debris, etc. And some of this, it might not actually be as bad as what it looks like in the satellite image. So these things tend to sell quickly. If you actually do have the time to go out and scout this before the property sells, we'd encourage you to go out there, take a look, see exactly what the neighbor's lot is like. Typically on our website, we get photos taken of each property that we list. When you get into Tres Piedras Estates, where we already have such a wealth of photos and we buy and sell so many lots out there, it just doesn't make any sense to keep sending our photographer out there to take a picture of what's largely going to be the same from lot to lot. But with this one, we do want to point out that, there may be an eyesore sitting here to your immediate west. Additionally, whoever owns these lots, are they out there? Do they live out there? That's questionable. We find a lot of times the properties that we buy, when there's debris that's been left like that on the land, the person who owns it isn't actually there. But additionally, if you do come out here and you start living out here and this person isn't here, I'd say a call to the county can, get some fines levied on that. It might even be able to get somebody out there to clean it up. So things to think about. Another thing I just want to point out is that within very close proximity of that property is also what looks to be a fairly nice property. You have a home out here, you got some cars parked here, It looks like these people have taken the time to actually kind of work the roads a little bit themselves so they can get back and forth. You find all different types of things out here as far as structures, as far as living situations, how people are living. The one immediately to your west, just want to make you aware of, doesn't look like the best thing in the world, but it might not be as bad as what's represented here on Google Satellite. So just something to keep in mind. Anyway, guys, with all that said, as noted, we've been buying aggressively in this region all year, and it seems at this point we've talked to everybody who owns land out there or who thinks they own land. I will be shocked if we get anything between now and January 1st that is another 1-acre lot. So this may very well be your last opportunity to buy out there. If this is something that you've been looking at and you do want to purchase, just come here, click the Buy Now button. It'll take you to this secure checkout page. I'm going to ask you a couple questions for the conveyance, a couple questions for the deed. What name or names do you want in it? Tax address, where's Taos County going to send that annual $10 tax bill? Once you fill that out, agree to the terms of service, click Next. And on the very next page, we ask for credit and debit card information. As with all the properties on our website, this is for sale by owner. We're not agents. We're not brokers. So we own the land. Once you give us money, as far as we're concerned, you own the land. It is yours to do with as you please. Go out there, have fun, party, start building, start living, what have you. But it will be about 3 weeks before you have a hard copy of that deed in your possession. The way this process always works is within 24 hours, we get you an email with a new copy of the deed. Some supplemental documents. Once you review them and tell them everything's great, everything's copacetic, we spelled your name right, we're going to autograph it, notarize it, and mail it off to the county to be recorded. County records it, and then they forward it on to you. So again, from start to finish, about 3 weeks before it's in your possession. But point being, once again, we're the owners, and once you give us money, as far as we're concerned, you're the owners. So with all that said, guys, hope that was informative. Again, we have a ton of content here on Tres Piedras Estates. If you have questions about this, normally I say leave a comment, give us a call, whatever. But honestly, there's a wealth of information on the website and on the YouTube channel about this. So I just encourage you to kind of just peruse a little bit more, and you'll probably find the answers to your questions. Anyway, with all that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.